I think on this list, really, there's only like a couple of right answers for the hook.
Yeah.
And I think Trippie Redd is one of them.
Bruh.
He's one of the only correct answers
man.
for what you're saying.
Baby, I need you in my life, in my life. Come on, man. That shit is crazy.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Soul Serum podcast. I am your bring Drake to the hood host, Clay Bonine. As always, I am joined by my I told them crackers holler at me when they sober co-host Tanner Mavis.
Yes, sir.
They banned Tanner from every jewelry store in Kentucky. Terrible.
No cap. On them dead lokes.
Can't even go out in public with my hoodie on. And we are back on the Soul Serum podcast. We have another concept episode today, but before we get into that, as always, I want to remind everybody, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, the podcast page, the main page. Subscribe to us on YouTube, main page, TV page. Follow us on TikTok. Join the Discord. And in a little bit of Soul Serum news and promo news, join the Patreon.
Yes.
We just dropped the Patreon. There's 3 levels to it: $1, $5, and $1,000. If you want to see John Buchanan bald, we're gonna start a GoFundMe to get his head shaved. But the $5 one gets you an extra podcast a month, as well as Discord benefits, early access to merch, videos, behind the scenes.
You'll get
stuff.
when you do the $5 one, we're gonna give you like a permanent discount on every merch drop, like just for our Patreon people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that itself will be worth it if you really are. Like, if you're copping every drop, you might as well just get the Patreon for real.
Yeah, it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Because you're gonna get $10, $15 off like every merch drop. So
yeah. So if you haven't already, go ahead and join the Patreon. It's all in an effort to help us get a dedicated studio warehouse workspace, so that we don't have to do the podcast in one location and then go to merch distribution in another place and then edit in another place, so we can all be centralized.
All one place.
Exactly.
It's all work in progress. We appreciate everybody that's joined so far.
And that is all we have as far as Soul Serum news goes. And if you couldn't already tell by the title of this episode, we are doing another concept. We have our second iteration of the Fantasy Rapsketball concept here. This time, instead of drafting for a record label, we are going to do the Midwest single draft. So basically, for this one, Tanner and I are going to be competing for who can make the best song with a group of 5 artists from the Midwest. So we are going to have 1 artist on the hook, 3 artists with 1 verse each, and 1 producer to make the beat. And these are going to be artists from Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and that's, good Midwestern region. We were talking a little bit before the podcast. I had trouble putting Kentucky artists on there because I feel like it's Southern, but like it is also Midwestern too. So we included them, and it also kind of helped round out.
We're from
the
Kentucky
list
too,
as well.
and this is our podcast, so we can do it.
Just to reiterate, this is our podcast. Tanner and I will be acting as an executive producer for each of our respective songs, meaning that we are
on
going
my Rick
to,
Rubin shit, baby.
Yeah, we're on our Rick Rubin, our Scooter Braun type vibes.
Yeah, Randy Jackson.
That was such a random shout out.
I was watching American Idol highlights last night, and I forgot I actually forgot how many hits like he like executively like produced in different genres.
I don't think I've ever really gone down the Randy Jackson rabbit hole to see what he's done. I know he was in that band, whoever made Cult of Personality. I think he's like the guitar player, but that's all besides
I was
the point.
getting sidetracked. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Tanner and I will be acting as executive producers, meaning that we get to shape the sound and direction of the song. So, of course, that means that it's important that we pick artists whose sounds blend together, or at least we think can blend together with our...
We got to think about like all the skills that these artists have as far as like not only like their voice and their delivery and like their sound, but like their songwriting,
Yeah.
like the whole package for real.
Would it make sense
What
to
they
see
all
these
their
people
talents
together?
that they could bring to the table for a breakout single,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
My only question is, as far as the rules for this, are we going for just a single global, like we're going for Billboard charts? Are we going for like a Midwest single, like anthem, like a Midwest anthem? You know what I mean?
I was kind of thinking more along the lines of like looking to make a hit, kind of like
I'm with that.
a breakout hit.
I just did. I was just
rather than like celebrating Midwestern culture.
That's what I like. That's what I was guessing, but I was just making sure because it's called the Midwest Single Edition.
That would be I see what you mean. That would be like a whole different. Like I would have had to put in like Bone Thugs and Harmony and Twista and Common and stuff like that, which I didn't put in because I tried to with the artist bank, which I'll read off here in a second. It's 20 artists and 6 producers. And this is obviously not the end-all, be-all Midwestern list. I tried to make a rounded list of people from different states, different sounds, different styles.
Pretty diverse.
Pretty diverse list. So for our non-YouTube watchers, for our audio listeners here, I'm going to read off the artist bank real quick before we get into it here. And I also want to let the record show, I did come up with the concept, but I have not pre-chosen a team because that would be unfair to Tanner. So our artist bank, I got some classics, some new people. We've got our 20 artists that we get to choose from. This is going to be for the people that we choose for the hook and for the 3 verses. I've got Eminem, Kid Cudi, Chief Keef, Danny Brown, Freddie Gibbs, Trippie Redd, Jack Harlow, Babyface Ray, Sada Baby, Bryson Tiller, 42 Doug, Jack Kays, Either Prophet, a little home team bias. T Grizzly, Lil Durk, G Herbo, MGK, Roadrunner TB, also home team bias. Polo G, Jisiah, and
Josiah.
Josiah, is that what? Oh shit! I just
you said Josiah.
Yeah, I was, dude.
Josiah.
I've been worried this whole time that I was gonna do that, and I did it.
It's all good.
And then as a wild card pick, we got RTBMB, the great Miles Bridges on this as well. He's from Flint. So like I didn't realize that's why he rapped like that.
Yeah, you
but
can
he's
hear
kinda
that.
fire though. It's really cool. And then as far as our producer bank goes, now this first artist I didn't put on the artist tier because I thought that would be kind of cheating a little bit. Maybe it's even cheating putting him in the producer bank. But for our producer bank, I have Kanye West, Metro Boomin, Young Chop, DJ High Tech, Hell of a Beats, and Energy Beats as well. So some classic Midwest and some of the newer Midwest going in on that as well. Now, let's get to the, you know what I'm about to say, the meat and potatoes of all this here. So like I said, just to reiterate, 1 artist on the hook, 3 artists each with 1 verse, and then 1 producer to make the beat. And then at the end, we can kind of explain how this all wraps up together and what our song is going to sound like. Now, the last time we did this, I gave you the first pick, and you took everybody that I wanted to take. All right,
you can go first.
So I'm going to go first this time, actually.
This will be interesting.
And I think I'm going to go...
You're doing the hook first? Okay.
I'm going to do the hook first. And I am going to pick one of the more classic artists here. I'm going to pick Kid Cudi as my number 1 draft pick for this. And putting him on the hook, I don't need to explain much, but I'll just for the sake of this explain it a little bit. I mean, Kid Cudi can do hooks, he can do verses, he can do sad, he can do happy, and he's also just a legendary artist in general. So getting him on the hook is already elevating my song to a different level, And who doesn't like to hear Kid Cudi hum,
That's facts.
So I'm going to go with Kid Cudi on the hook. I'm going to write that down real quick so I don't forget. I don't have much else to say about this until I get my other artist picked. So
all right. Well, I'm not picking a hook first.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just picking an artist just to have just to base off of because this man is one of the hottest artists out right now.
Okay.
I have to go with Jack Harlow first, just from pure songwriting and just personality and persona right now. Like I can't get on social media without seeing that man's face or in doing something. So I think just having him on the song right now is going to be a hit
for sure.
And he's in his bag right now, I feel like.
Definitely. That is a very strong pick. Jack Harlow,
but he's not doing the hook.
He's no. That's
for
fine. I wouldn't pick him for the hook either. I would pick him for the verse for all the reasons you said. Like he's definitely in his bag right now, and he's like experiencing a level of like fame and notoriety that he hasn't experienced before. So you're gonna get that kind of like afterburner kind of people coming on from who are just now joining the Jack Harlow train too.
Yep.
And also any of the like Jack Harlow feature verses that he has, like if he's on like the what is he on, the Tap In remix and things like that.
Exactly.
Like, they're all
solid verse.
They're all so good. All of them are really, really good. So that's a really good first round draft pick. And I also like that I went old and you went new.
Yeah.
I like the dichotomy of that.
All
there.
right, who are you going with next?
All right, so I guess I'm gonna pick I have no choice but to pick the verses now. I guess I could pick a producer if I wanted to, but I'm gonna pick somebody for my first verse. First verse, I need somebody to come out with a bang. I need somebody to, after we hear the transcendent, angelic vocals from Mr. Scott Mescudi, I need somebody to come in with a banger, somebody to really set it off. And I am going to pick. This is kind of tough. I'm gonna pick Polo G.
Damn.
As my first verse. I'm gonna do this because we go from the old classic angelic vibes of Kid Cudi to this new gritty Chicago sound. I think Polo G is like massively talented, and also I think we've talked about it a little bit before, but I think
he's gonna be around for a while.
He's gonna be around for a long time, and I love the authenticity of his music. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I play Polo G all the time or anything, but like anytime I hear his music or hear a verse from him, it's fantastic. All the like interview clips I see of him, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I mean musically, he's
a great songwriter, bro.
Yes,
like he is very
absolutely
good at writing songs. Like I don't know, like you could just go through his whole like his discography, like totally. As far as like songwriting and like vulnerability, like that man is like that's one of the best in the rap world as far as
in
like
this kind of
writing.
Like new age sort of hip hop scene. Yeah,
I think he's another artist that like even like old heads can come to like appreciate because of that. Just that right there, like his lyricism and his songwriting ability.
I'll actually give you a little anecdote about that. My friend Chris Dwyer, he like posts all the time on his story. Like he's like really into like Norwegian like death metal. He'll post bands that are like with crazy names, like a J and a Z are next to each other. And I don't even know how to pronounce them, but he always posts these. And the other day he posted the Polo G album, and I was like,
the GOAT.
I was like, yeah. He posted the GOAT, and I was like, that is so weird. But it shows like how good Polo G is. If he can infiltrate somebody's music taste who likes like Scandinavian death metal. So
I the GOAT album is fire, but I like the Die Legend tape like way more. I think that one is like timeless.
Yeah. So yeah, Polo G is my second pick. He's gonna open up the song for me off of this. And then I don't know if I said this in the intro, but if you think of somebody who's not on this list that is from the Midwest, feel free to go ahead and pick them. This is just kind of a starting point. But go ahead and let me know who your second pick is gonna be.
All right, on the hook, I am putting Trippie Redd on the hook. He has some of my like favorite hooks in like the SoundCloud age, and even like up to now. Like I don't know. I think when it comes to like making like really infectious like, hooks to like scream, sing, like Trippie is doing that. Like
totally.
Like,
I think on this list, really, there's only like a couple of right answers for the hook.
Yeah.
And I think Trippie Redd is one of them. He's one of the only correct answers for what you're saying.
Baby, I need you in my life. In my life. Come on, man. That shit is crazy.
Although it may seem from previous podcast episodes that I disrespect Trippie Redd, I really don't. Like I do. I think this is a great choice on your end here.
I hit the beat from the back. She's like, ooh, hey.
Man, and he's also like in a similar, not maybe to the level that Jack Harlow is right now. I mean, he's still experiencing like a lot of notoriety. Like he's kind of
dude, he's
maybe not a top tier artist in the game right now, but he's
tier 2.
He's like banging on the ceiling basically. I think if he like, it's probably hard for like non hip hop fans to like look at Trippie Redd and be like, yeah, sure, I'll listen to that guy. Like he just like kind of has like a look to him that I feel like is not as accessible, you know, as maybe
definitely
as somebody else. But yeah, I think that's a great choice though for your hook. Okay, so I am going to pick now for my second verse here. So I've got the old, like kind of classic with Kid Cudi. I've got the new with Polo G. And I think I want to go for a little bit of a little grimy, a little dirtiness to kind of offset what we have going on already. And I am going to pick Babyface Ray out of Detroit for my second verse. I want to pick him because he's definitely like lesser known than some of the people on this list, and I like when lesser known artists get on tracks with more known people because they have to play up to that competition level. And I also think he just like his music in general is fire. It's like that. It's like a really good example of what this Michigan scene is. He has great punchlines, great flow. His new little EP, the 7-song EP that he dropped, like all of those songs are great. So I'm going to go with Babyface Ray as my second verse. We get the angelic vocals with Kid Cudi, get a nice vulnerable songwriting stint from Polo G, and then we go to the trenches with Babyface Ray on my second verse. That's going to be my pick right there. Let me mark this down real quick.
Fuck, man.
And who do we have for you for your next pick here?
Damn. Okay.
Are you going through some?
I'm trying to
some research over there
if I
right
can
now?
find like a sleeper in the Midwest that could fit for my song. But all these people that they have in these Midwest playlists are more Southern. Like there's a lot of like Memphis people that they're putting in like Midwest playlists.
Yeah, the Spotify playlist, it's like Central Standard Time is like kind of weird because like some of it I'm like, yes, this is correct, and some of it I'm like, this is not.
Yeah,
like this is not right.
I'm gonna just go off your list. Damn, so Trippie Redd and Jack Harlow. Damn, yeah, I'm going with Chief Keef. I think a Chief Keef verse on a Jack Harlow and Trippie Redd song would go hard, but not
a weird. Dude, I like it.
Not
but
Chief
that's
Keef's.
weird,
No,
though.
not Chief Keef's like drill, like love Sosa or like don't like shit. Like more of Chief Keef's more like melodic. Like I love Chief. Like if I could take a verse and put it on this song, it would be Chief Keef's song off of Cozy Tapes 2 with ASAP. What is that song called? That's 2 times. No.
What is the song off Cozy Tapes 2 with Chief Keef? I'm forgetting. Is it Blowing Minds?
Blowing Minds.
I was skateboard, but I'm on my grind. That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That I would get that type of verse on my song.
I was also, as you're saying that, I was thinking of, do you remember the song he has with, it's like Mike Will. It's off like a Mike Will tape. I think it's called "Come Down." It's kind of like it's like him and Ray Shremmerd. It's almost like a softer version of Here it is. It's off of Ransom too. Yeah, Chief Keef and Ray Shremmerd.
Fire.
Yeah, I love that version of Chief Keef.
Me too.
You know, people sleep on how versatile
Bro.
Chief Keef is.
Bro,
You know,
I love the melodic Chief Keef.
the Thoughtbreakers album, bro, was
Yes.
fire.
Bro, my baby is the dope.
Dude, I think like that. I'm glad that you made it a point to say that version of
Yeah.
Chief Keef, because it would sound weird if it was like
No.
if it was like Hate Being Sober,
Nah,
Chief
nah,
Keef
nah,
with
nah.
Trippie Redd and Jack
I want
Harlow.
like even like the melodic verse that he has on the Uzi album. The Uzi, the deluxe. Love versus, Lil Uzi versus the World 2. What was the song?
Bean, I think.
Yeah, with Kobe. Yeah.
Yeah.
His verse on that. Like something like that with Trippie and Jack Harlow
Dang.
would go crazy.
Ooh, that would be so fire. Oh my god. All right, and that, you know what? And that's like, I feel like that's your first pick of like a classic person too.
Like Trippie on the hook. Jack Harlow's doing the first verse. I don't know where Chief Keef might come in last, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see
yeah.
who I'm gonna slide in the middle.
Okay. We'll see. All right, so I am going to go ahead and pick my last artist for the verse here. And I think I kind of want to round it out with a classic pick. As much as I want to pick like TB, or as much as I want to pick Lil Durk or 42 Doug or something like that, I got to go with somebody who is near and dear to my heart, who has one of my top 10 albums of all time. I have to close out my song with a verse from Uncle Danny Brown. I have been a huge Danny Brown fan since like 2013, because I think Triple X came out in 2012 and I heard it in 2013. That is the first time I heard an album where I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like from top to bottom.
Yeah.
It's versatile. He can use different voices. And even coming from that point, from like drug addict, one tooth, weird perm comb over Danny Brown to Uncle Danny, nice teeth, nice haircut, good outfit Danny, like he has still found a way to be himself, and still is a top tier like hip hop artist, you know, like we can sit here and talk about how much we love the Sada Babies and the 42 Dougs and people like that of the world, but like from a hip hop, like rapping ass rapper, lyrical, fun, like interesting verse, I think Danny Brown closing out my song and just giving us like a crazy, nasty, just insane wordplay verse. That's how I want my song to go out. So I am going to pick for my last verse Danny Brown.
Fire.
Shout out Detroit. He was like one of the first Detroit dudes that, like, honestly, the first, other than Eminem, I guess, like one of the first people that I remember being from Detroit and being like, oh, people are from Detroit and make music there. Oh, okay. Because I don't, like, for whatever reason, I don't associate Eminem with Detroit in my mind, even though obviously, like, he has the fucking movie 8 Mile, like, it's all about Detroit.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. In my mind, Eminem for a while didn't, like, compute with me and being from Detroit, but that's besides the point, though. All right, so who do you have closing out? So am
I allowed to pick a producer?
Yeah, you want to pick the producer for your last verse? Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'm picking Metro Boomin.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer. Well, you go ahead. You explain your choice, but I have points I want to make too.
I want I know Metro has been on like a lot of like, you know, the 21 Savage shit. He can do like the evil, sinister, like almost like Saw type of like movie sounding beats, but I kind of want like a 2015 feel to like 2015 like Future and Drake feel to the song, but like with today's like modern like 808s and like kicks and like drum patterns that he uses. But I want this shit to feel like a fucking like a dream, like a movie.
Yeah. No, I think that's
because I want it to be like a more of a melodic song, and then in the verses they're like rapping their asses off, like mixed with melodies and shit like they do.
Yeah.
And I want Trippie Redd's. I want the synth to be like something like Miss the Rage that's about to come out, like something like
Yo,
that.
when he
I mean?
posted as a side note, when he posted that shit on April Fools, where it was like, bro, I fucking fell for it. I was so pissed. I was like, oh, sick, it's out. And then I went and it's just like Linktree Trippy Red. And I was like, fuck you, man. God damn it. Why did you do this? I saw somebody post it on their story, like post the video, and then their next story a minute later was just like the sad face. Yeah, and you know what? Like, I bet Metro Boomin has a lot of those crazy synth beats like waiting, just like on a hard drive, just locked in somewhere. Yeah.
I want to see Metro tap in with Sofago because he's from Atlanta too. I would love to see that happen in some type of like in that world, that crazy synth like type of line that's happening now.
That would be so fire. You know,
as a side note,
it's cool though because like Metro has created such a lane and such a place for himself in hip hop that like he doesn't have to do that stuff if he doesn't want to.
We saw his discography. We saw how much versatility that man has. Like he can do whatever.
Yeah, he
was doing shit on Life of Pablo, bro. Like
that was like one of the most surprising things to me when we were doing that. Like the first Fantasy Rapsketball one, the first March Madness bracket when we went through and like looked at all of his producer credits. Like it blew my mind as to like what he can do.
Yeah,
like because still in my mind, I think of Metro almost as like producing for Future and for Gucci and these just like crazy hi-hat driven 808 thumping beats, but like he can make movie soundtracks basically, you know?
He proved it.
All right, so I think I've already picked all of my artists, right? So I have to pick a producer now.
Mm-hmm.
So Kid Cudi on the hook for me, Polo G, Babyface Ray, and Danny Brown on the verse. Ooh, whew, that's already sounding fire. Now, I'm going to go with an easy pick here, and maybe this is kind of like a cop-out, cheap answer, but I have to pick Kanye West as my producer.
Go ahead.
I mean, he's obviously a Midwest legend. He was a producer before he got on and started rapping and still produces stuff. I mean, even his production, like on the Jesus is King album, like I think that album is hella mid. I think it's like a 5 out of 10.
I still haven't listened to it.
Yeah, you'd be all right. You'd be okay. Yeah, you'd be okay. But I think
is it because it's called Jesus is King, or is it because it's actually mid? Like, no. Does it sound I think, terrible?
So here's my quickie review of Jesus is King. Is I think it's very mid. It is some of the most average and lazy songwriting I've ever heard Kanye have. But the reason why it's a 5 out of 10 and not lower is because the production is insane.
That's what I'm saying.
Beautiful. It's amazing. So if Kanye can take this like mailed in like kind of what's the term I'm looking for, half-baked sort of gospel album and at least make it okay, it's still decent even if I think the actual verses are bad, like that goes to show the skill that Kanye has.
Would you go to church if Kanye was your pastor and performing Jesus is King live?
I mean, it would definitely attract me more to church than church is right now. Well, he did some of that Jesus is King stuff up in Dayton, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Leo Pastel was there. I'm pretty sure he either sang or he was a part of it or something.
Yeah. I saw that. He like posted a picture of like Kanye like doing whatever, and he's just like behind him, just like chilling, basically.
I'm pretty sure there's a video of him dapping him up or something. But
that's
shout out Leo.
That's Leo. Funny. So yeah, I'm going with Kanye. I mean, like his old production, like think about something like A Jesus Walks or Lucifer by Jay-Z, and then think about new stuff like Numbers on the Board, Pusha T.
I mean, you got Kid Cudi on the hook, and he's done several hooks over
another
Kanye.
I wanted to bring up.
It could be some like Kids See Ghosts type thing.
Kanye brings out the best in Kid Cudi every single time. We didn't hear shit from Kid Cudi And then Kids See Ghosts come out, and it's all Kanye production and Kanye like moving Cudi along. And then everybody's like, "Oh, that's right, we love Kid Cudi. I remember now."
I'm moving forward.
So that's gonna be my choice for my producer is Kanye West. Now Tanner, I believe you have one more open verse.
This one is
on your
hard
song.
for me, bro, because I have two artists that I want to pick. And it's like,
I
can't go wrong either way.
Who are your two? Who are the
either
two?
Bryson Tiller or Lil Durk.
Okay,
So
well, what's your reasoning behind both? I got
Trippie Redd on the hook. It's gonna
Yep.
be crazy hook.
Got
Metro Boomin producing, so it's gonna be this crazy, dreamy, sounding hook.
Mm-hmm.
But when the verse comes in, it's gonna bang.
Yeah.
Some crazy drums. For Jack Harlow's verse, then the hook's gonna come back in trippy. The hook's crazy. Second verse, actually no, I want Chief Keef on the second verse. I'm doing Chief Keef on the second one. It's gonna come in banging again. Hook, and then a slight bridge at the end, not like a full verse, but like a bridge that feels like a break and a build up back to the hook,
kind of like a Travis Scott highest in the room kind of thing.
And it's gonna be Tiller singing
Ooh.
back into the hook.
And you got two Louisville artists on there,
Exactly.
so I'm gonna be listening for sure. Damn, I like that. That's a bold choice right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I really thought you were gonna take Lil Durk. To be honest with you, I thought you were gonna take.
I was
him.
going to if I wanted to keep going with the bangers, but I needed a little switch up in the song because
Fair enough.
like having Chief Keef and Lil Durk in the same song, like I feel like Tiller would add a little more
depth, maybe a little bit of variance.
That's what I mean.
Okay, so let me give everybody here a review of who we have picked. So for my team, I have Kid Cudi on the hook. I have Polo G with the first verse, Babyface Ray with the second verse, and third verse Danny Brown. Kanye West is going to produce the song for me. And then for Tanner, he has Trippie Redd on the hook, Jack Harlow on the first verse, Chief Keef on the second verse, Bryson Tiller on the third verse / outro bridge, and he has Metro Booming. He has Metro Boomin producing. All right, let's get into what these songs are gonna sound like. So, when I have all my artists in the studio with me, and I walk in, I'm like Kid Cudi, Polo G, Babyface Ray, Danny Brown, Kanye, get over here. Kanye, quit tweeting. Get over here. Kanye, get off your computer. Get over here. I'm going to say, all right, fellas, here's what I want, right? So we're going to start off with this angelic, dreamy, cloudy kind of beat, right? Kid Cudi going to come in. He's going to start with the humming, and then he's going to give us a nice, easily rememberable hook. It doesn't have to be anything too complex.
Yeah.
And then boom, hard cut into a crazy hard beat, kind of like I want the Kanye production that I want for the rap verses is kind of like a Pusha T Daytona album production where it's just this dirty head bopping, just like nasty beat. So we're gonna get the nice vulnerable vulnerable verse from Polo G. We're gonna do no hook in between the Polo G verse. It's gonna go straight into the Babyface Ray verse. We're gonna get the verse from the trenches from Babyface Ray being out there allegedly selling drugs, as he may have professed in some of his songs. And then we're gonna come back, we're gonna hard cut back to the dreamy cloudy chorus from Kid Cudi, maybe some more hums, and then I want the beat to kind of simmer down for a second, not necessarily a cappella, but I want it to take a notch down. We get a little bit like a 4 to 8 bar intro from Danny Brown. Boom, it picks right back up into the hard Danny Brown, hard wordplay, technical verse. And then we end with a nice instrumental outro from Kanye. That's what I want my song to sound like. We get a nice juxtaposition of this dreamy, cloudy kind of atmosphere, and then we get this dirty, grimy, trenches kind of filled rap verses from my artists.
Okay.
That's what I want.
So I've thought about how I want to layer and like sequence my song. I think I want Jack Harlow to come in on the intro. Do an intro verse hard, like come in like right away. Just like kind of like What's Poppin' did. Like come in like banging. He kills his verse, and at the end, like the drums kind of stop. It's just the synth leads up. Feel a little crescendo build up into the hook, and then it's trippy. And the song is about like it's on some swag, like club shit. Like I'm a studio girl, but like I'm pretty. Like I'm feeling myself, type shit.
Yeah,
and that's the trippy hook. And it's
Jack Harlow's a great choice for that
I
kind
think
of
Trippy
vibe.
can do it too.
Yeah,
I think Tiller can do it too. Chief Keef, I feel like he'll be a good like offset to like what everybody else brings, but
Definitely.
but bring in a lot of energy.
It's
and, like,
people are gonna be like, should Chief Keef be on this song?
Yeah.
And then they hear his verse and they're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
but it's a
you
club
should
song,
be.
so it'll fit. And Chief Keef goes crazy in the clubs. So then the infectious hook happens. Trippy singing his heart out, Scream singing, yay! And then it goes right into Chief Keef, and it's banging right away. And he's doing some melodic, smooth, like operating, smoking dope, like pouring up type shit, club type of verse. You know what I mean? And then throw in some like heartbreaker lyrics here and there, and then it's gonna go back into the trippy hook. It's crazy. It's going strong. And then the last verse will be Tiller. It won't be a long verse. It'll be like a switch up to where it's not really banging anymore. It's where the beat, and this is where Metro comes in, where like he switches it up and it sounds like this crazy like symphony orchestra like type of build up, and Tiller's just singing and doing his thing. Tiller's voice is like a little higher pitched. It sounds more like angelic at certain times.
Yeah.
Trap soul vibes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the build up goes crazy right back into the hook, and then game over.
It's like a 6-minute song. You got a long. It sounds like it's a long song.
Intro, hook, Chief Keef, hook, Tiller, hook. Yeah, I think it'll be like 4 minutes.
Yeah. I'm a fan of 6-minute songs, but
I think it'll be 4.
My song's gonna be like 3.5 to 4.5 minutes.
It might be 2. Yeah, but for the sake of we have 3 people on verses. You know
True.
what I mean? That
True.
rarely happens nowadays.
Yeah, very good point. As a bonus question, and we don't have to dwell on this too long, but as a bonus question, who do you want on the remix? You can pick one artist on the remix. I'll go first. I'm taking Miles Bridges. I want Miles Bridges on mine as the surprise, like Miles Bridges, and then people click on it and hear it, and they're like, all right, Miles kind of spitting on here. He's kind of spitting on my verse.
If I could add another verse, I'd probably put Either Prophet on there.
Home team.
I feel like he would fit into that song. Just a hard.
That would be so. Chief Keef and E on the same song.
The voices would go crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just like I feel like they would complement each other well as far as just like their cadence.
Yeah.
And just how they deliver.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Whoa, that was really fun. So what I'm gonna do is, if you are not already following the Soul Serum Podcast Instagram, you should start following it right now, because I'm going to put a poll up on Wednesday, as this is releasing on Monday. I'm going to put a poll up on Wednesday of my song versus Tanner's song, and I'll put in some clips of us kind of explaining the sonics of the song.
Yeah.
But I want you all to vote on it. You all were very active in voting on the March Madness brackets, and I was very excited about that. So I want to see if y'all gonna keep that same energy and vote on the me and Tanner song.
I wish we could do I wish there was like a rap simulator with all the rappers, and we can just put them all into a generator and they make a song for us, and we could really see whose song is better.
Like a random Kanye beat.
That would be an invention for real. I bet someone that really knows how to code and do some crazy AI shit, they could get all the rappers, get their data from socials and Spotify and shit, and put it into this generator. and have a robot use their voice and put a verse on it. Hey,
If anybody at home knows how to code,
if any of you geeks are out there, I just gave you $1 million idea.
any of you geeks out there, I'm really glad nobody picked MGK, by the way. Anywho.
Yeah, that's why I asked, like, are we doing a Midwest anthem?
Yeah,
I was like, all right,
yeah.
I'm picking Jack K's, MGK, and Kid Cudi or something like that. Like,
I'm taking Iguodala.
like the Midwest white kids will fucking love that shit, you know?
Cleveland, this is for you. All right. Well, that concludes this iteration of Fantasy Rapsketball. Thank you all very much for listening and for participating. This is the concept episode for this month, so the next me and Tanner episode is going to kind of go back to our old format where we're answering questions.
Not really
from you
old.
guys.
We're doing, well, yeah.
Well,
I was talking about the next episode. We're doing Zoom interviews.
Oh yeah, true. We've got the Zoom set up. If anybody is listening at this point in the podcast, you guys can know about this. We got the Zoom set up in the fucking studio now.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, man.
It looks great, dude. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's gonna like open up such a new like lane of people that we can interview. It's gonna be
definitely.
So,
I just want to
cool.
hear like the feedback from people, like, because like it's definitely a different feel from in person to like Zoom interviews
for sure.
So, like,
for sure. So
we're gonna run it,
experiment.
and we're gonna experiment, and we're gonna see what happens, man.
You realize this is episode 25. Quarter of a century, baby. We haven't missed a fucking week yet, and I want y'all to know that we haven't missed a week. We've been close. We've had some close calls,
crazy,
but we have not missed a week yet. And for that, I think you all should follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, main page, podcast page, join the motherfucking Discord.
Join the Patreon.
Join the Patreon. It's for a good cause. It's not like we're going to take the money and go buy fucking sour Skittles or something. Like we're going to we're going to buy the warehouse and then buy some sour Skittles to put it in there.
We're gonna get a ball pit, but it's just sour Skittles.
Oh God. Ugh, it'd be so sticky. Ugh, Jesus. If you dive in there with like a cut on your fucking finger,
I feel like that'd be really.
It'd
be like rubbing like sandpaper all over like your skin.
Oh, I hate that. I hate the thought of
Sorry
that.
for saying that.
Anywho.
It's the first idea that came to my mind for some reason.
Help us make this dream come true, guys. We want a sour Skittles ball pit.
Yeah,
and we want
jump
John
in.
Buchanan to be bald.
Yes.
But thank you all, everybody, for listening this week. Zoom interviews coming next week. And with all of that being said, I, as always, am your host, Clay Bonine.
I'm your co-host, Tanner Mavis.
And we'll see y'all next week. Deuces, y'all.
All right, y'all.